Have you ever thought about how you make your decisions? Like I said before, I've got a few life-altering decisions I need to make here shortly, and I had an aha this morning of how much scarcity and lack can really drive a person to make a decision in desperation rather than making a decision that's like where they want to go, like aligned with the direction and the creativity of like what they actually want in life. I mean, it's been difficult for me because I have been super indecisive. I've been bouncing around to all these different aspects in myself, between relationships, between career, between freedom, between like I'm aware now that there's so many different opportunities, and I've just kept myself in this little bitty lane. And so like now I want to expand and I want to go and actually live life. And it's now it's coming down to the wire. And I made the mistake of this morning scrolling through Marketplace to see if there was any rooms available, because I'm in this weird position, and I have been for the last couple of years, of not wanting a lease because I don't want to be stuck somewhere. And that decision to scroll before I even got out of bed was very unproductive. It fueled the fire of the desperation and the attempt of like, oh, well, you know, if I don't want to share a household with 4 or 5 other people, I ought to, make more money so that I can at least have some quietness, because I do know that I enjoy my quietness. And I've just kind of been on this comfort cycle where I've been, and it turned into this weird position of, well, I ought to go and get 2 more jobs so that I can make sure that I have this and I can proceed. But the reality of it is I've been working on different areas of myself to expand career-wise outside of the ordinary everyday. And while I understand like everything is temporary, and I know that I could go and make some money doing bartending or something that I've already know that I can do, I also know that the time spent on that will be taking away from the time that needs to be spent on the expansion, on the more priority aspects of where it is I want to go. And I also know that in the past, I have gotten caught in comfort. And I mean, this is kind of where we're at now. I've had this opportunity where I could have been saving up, but unfortunately, I have just kind of lollygagged and I haven't been saving up. Long story short, the desperation aspect of it is finding the options to like quick fixes, like the things that I am comfortable in. And I'm not saying that comfort's bad, because there is a point where like we have to have the comfort in order to feel safe within ourselves. But in the same aspect, you can't grow unless you get in uncomfortable positions. And I've also learned that you can't throw yourself to the wolves in uncomfortable situations, because if you're not prepared, if you don't have the capacity to do the things that you need to do in order to succeed in that area, it's a flaming disaster that's going to take you back a few steps and then shame spiral, and there's a lot to it. So it's finding this weird little balance of like, okay, I need to expand, I need to step into the uncomfortable, but then I also have to make sure that I'm not like balls to the wall in it like I typically do. Granted, not staying super shallow and in this really comfortable zone, because you can't grow in your comfort, and it's a mind fuck. And the thing is one of the options that I was leaning towards is definitely more for safety. Is more for that desperation, like I need to secure my future, but on the long end of it, it's a potential closure of expansion. it's almost too comfortable. And while we're always going to have those little tidbits that are going to jumble everything up a little bit, I feel like just having that insight of like asking myself, is this for safety? Is this out of desperation? Or is this in alignment with growing, with the direction that I want to go? And being someone who's been super indecisive, because I've been bouncing around, it all pretty much comes down to a mixture of things, because there's the feeling it within yourself. You know, if something is uncomfortable, you're going to feel something in your body. Once you get aware of your physicalness, like you inside yourself, you'll become aware of like maybe gas bubbles, some kind of pressure, maybe even a sharp pain. Mine aren't really that proficient, that extraordinary. I don't know if proficient's the right word. But I can definitely tell when my chest gets really tight. And sometimes it's even in my gut. Which that's a whole different story for like chakras and the flow of energy. But I've also realized, like, to some extent it has to be logical. And it's got to be a balance. Logical and then like intuition, feeling. And while I would love to say, like, intuition would be the most awesomest guidance tool to use. Maybe it's because I haven't fully developed my trust in my own intuition. But I also feel like the intuition is where you understand, like, those sensations. So coming to the conclusion of, like, coming to these questions and asking myself, it pretty much still falls down to, we got to wait for things to kind of play out. Like, and that's even a whole different aspect of, like, I even pulled out the tarot cards. I pulled out the cards to see what was going to be said. And the entire time that I was shuffling and I was rotating through them all, I realized, like, it doesn't really matter what these cards say, because everything changes. And it's up, like, I am the creator. So whatever decisions and choices that I make from this time moving forward, when I have these interactions with people, as the day progresses, along with the surprises, because you never know who could walk into your life at any moment, it's all speculative. There's no direct, like, one and done simple answer. It's the awareness of everything, of, like, getting clarity within yourself of what you want, and then taking the logistics along with the intuition and the feelings, and being open and present in your daily life to, you know, become aware of the opportunities. Shutting down the limiting thinking, the lack mindset, and opening yourself up to optimism, to possibilities that you don't even know that are available. And it's exciting when you think about that, but you also have to go with no expectation, because if you're just waiting for something to fall into your lap, you're going to be waiting for the rest of your life. That's not how it works either. And so, yeah, no expectations, because you still have to put in the effort. You still have to put in the energy, the connection. You have to be the person who is willing to put yourself out there in order for you to even come across any new opportunities, right? I don't know. I guess we've had a full day today at the shop, and even though my regulars are the only people that I see anymore, I'm still in a boat of excitement for, you just never know. And even with that, like I said, I've got other interactions, and I'm on this timeline. Like, I've got 2 months, so I believe a shit ton could happen in the 2 months, as long as I don't just wait for it to fall into my lap. Because that is a surefire way to find yourself into disappointment. So, with that, I hope you have a lovely day, and until next time, bye!